Well, first off, hello. My name is Andrew.
Hello, Andrew. Nice
Nice
to
to
meet
meet
you.
you. I wanted to specifically ask you about the difference between your experience putting together the documentary from 2003 and making this film with Benny Safdie and Dwayne Johnson.
Oh gosh, there's a big gap. Like the documentary with all that film that was shot around that time frame. Um, I didn't see any of it, not
Mm,
a single daily, nothing. So they started shooting in '99. The first time that I saw any footage at all was when I saw the complete documentary in 2002.
mm,
So it was three years of it just being me not knowing what was on film. And so the first time I watched it, it was jarring. It
mm,
was it was it was gut wrenching to know that had the potential to be out there. I still had veto. I still had the power to tell them, I didn't sign a release
mm,
until I said I need to see the final version of it, and then I'll sign off on the release. And I watch it. I just go, no, no, that is not going out in public. And then fast forward to where we are with the film. It's like everybody involved just had reverence and respect and a really like dedication to telling the best, most authentic story they possibly could. Um, because it just, it's a story they said it needed to be told because it's a human condition, even though mixed martial arts was doing at the time, it wasn't about mixed martial arts. It's about life and relationships and struggles and ups and downs. And
mm,
so a lot of contrast between the two.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure as well because it's different having somebody recreating um
hmm
all those moments. Can you tell me about the first time you saw um Dwayne Johnson in makeup, like
Oh
as
my gosh, man. So I went up to Vancouver. They had me up there for fight week. There was a lot of scenes around the fighting and stuff. They wanted my perspective on it and stuff like that. So they're doing the introduction of all the fighters that are in the finals of the Grand Prix. And
mm,
I'm up and I'm in the aisle leading up to the ring,
mm,
and I'm standing looking at the ring, and nobody tells me that they're going to put prosthetics on Dwayne. Nobody tells me they're going to give him his cauliflower. Nobody tells me they're getting a head of hair. They're going to do this. Nobody says anything.
mm.
And sure enough, man, I'm talking to somebody and they tap me and I turn around. He's wearing the sneakers I wore, the tracksuit I wore, the shirt I wore, everything. And I just started cussing at him. I probably like 10 F bombs and with elbows included. Like, and I'm just and the reasoning behind it is like I'm looking at my mirror reflection.
Right.
Like I'm looking at it, I'm like, it's like turning around, there's no mirror there, but there's a person standing there, and it's like, fuck you. Like, oh my God, dude, like what did they do? Like,
Mhm.
oh my God. It was beautiful, right?
Yeah.
But it was jarring. It was
Yeah.
shocking. It was unsettling. It was all that. And then I hadn't even realized that at that point that he had hired a speech coach and he had
Mm.
hired, to be able to walk him through that. He didn't even give me any of those nuggets. I had to see the film to get all that.
Right, right. Yeah, no. That's very interesting. I want to ask, I think time is getting short, so I have
Yeah,
one
yeah,
more
yeah, yeah,
question.
yeah.
My friend that I saw this movie with loved the movie, and I told him if he had a question for you, I would
Sure.
ask it. And so his question for you, is, has seeing yourself portrayed on screen provided any new insight or self-reflection, on the events of the time?
You know what? It has. In Venice was the first time I saw it, absolute complete version, like it's going out to the public. And
Mm,
part of that, towards the end, that one intense scene at the end, it just crystallized a lot of what my behavior was and role was. And
mhm.
it actually turned it almost like a therapy session because
Oh, wow.
I could really see my part in it, and I could go, oh wow, like, I got to take ownership for that, and just how oh my God, how vivid it was to look at Emily play Dawn and
Mhm.
what she brought out, and then amplified by everybody sitting there and DJ on my left and Benny on my right, and it was cathartic, it was therapeutic.
Mhm.
And it was humbling because it's just one of those things where it's like, it's like if you had a neighbor that had a contentious relationship and they had this big, huge 20 by 20 bay window and you could walk by, sit on their lawn and watch it, right?
Mhm.
That's what
Yeah.
I was watching. I was watching like 25 years ago with 1,000 people in the room.
Yeah.
So it had a completely different feel to it, and a sense of humility, that I'm able to share that, and be okay with sharing that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's fantastic. That's great. I was particularly very curious about that question as well. So I'm glad that it's provided you with some some new insight.
Insights,
Um,
yeah.